working with databases is one of the most important and powerful skills that every developer should have. This is due to the high demand for this skill constantly and with the highest salaries. So if you want to be a professional developer, engineer or data scientist, it's very important to be familiar with working with databases of all kinds. In this course, you will learn how to work with different types of databases using the Python programming language from beginning to professionalism. You will master the use of SQL databases using MySQL and SQLite, and also NoSQL or not only SQL by using MongoDB. By the end of this course, you will be able to build and manage all these databases with Python programming language easily. So what is the meaning of database? A database is a structured collection of data. It may be anything from a simple shopping list to a picture gallery or a place to hold the vast amounts of information in a corporate network. Hi, my name is Ahmed Ibrahim. I am a software engineer and data science professional, and I'll be the instructor for this course. If you have any questions during this course, please don't hesitate to ask me questions and I'll answer you as soon as possible. So we have a lot to cover in this course. Let's start this unique journey. Let's talk about the requirements to take this course. There are two requirements. The first requirement to take this course is Python. You should know the basics of the Python programming language, including variables, data types, conditional statements, loops, functions, classes, modules, packages, and so on. And the second requirement to take this course is the Jupyter Notebook. Our working environment in this course is the Jupyter Notebook. You can download and install the Jupyter Notebook from the Anaconda distribution website, and feel free to use any Python IDE or editor you want. MySQL is one of the most powerful and recognizable technologies in the modern big data ecosystem, often calling the most popular database and currently enjoying widespread, effective use regardless of industry. It's clear that anyone involved with enterprise data or general IT should at least aim for a basic familiarity of MySQL. MySQL is a relational database management system developed by Oracle that is based on Structured Query Language or SQL or SQL. So what is the meaning of relational database management system? A relational database management system is the software that gives users the ability to update, query, and administer a relational database. Also, MySQL has many features. MySQL is open source, flexible, high performance, secure, and easy to use. SQLite is another SQL database, one of the simplest and easiest SQL databases. SQLite is a software library that provides a relational database management system. The light in SQLite means lightweight in terms of setup, database administration, and required resources. SQLite has many features, including self-contained, serverless, zero configuration, and transactional. Normally, a relational database management system such as MySQL requires a separate server process to operate. However, SQLite doesn't work this way. SQLite doesn't require a server to run. SQLite database is integrated with the application that accesses the database. The applications interact with the SQLite database, read and write directly from the database files stored on disk. And to work with the SQLite database in Python programming language, there is no need to install anything. What is MongoDB? MongoDB is an open source, NoSQL or not only SQL database management program or system. NoSQL is used as an alternative to traditional relational databases. NoSQL databases are quite useful for working with large sets of distributed data. MongoDB is a tool that can manage document-oriented information to store or retrieve information or data. MongoDB supports various forms of data. It's one of the many non-relational database technologies, normally for use in big data applications and other processing jobs involving data that doesn't fit well in a rigid relational model. Instead of using tables and records as in relational databases, the MongoDB architecture is made up of collections and documents. Collection instead of table and document instead of row. Nowadays, organizations use MongoDB for its ad hoc queries, indexing, load balancing, aggregation, server-side execution, and many other features. Hello and welcome to this lesson about downloading and installing MySQL or the install launcher to install MySQL locally on our device. First of all, you need to download MySQL from this URL or this link. Let's go to this link or this website to download the install launcher or the community installer to install MySQL, and after downloading this installer, follow the steps to install it successfully. Let's see that. In the search box, type this link or this URL and hit enter, and this will bring you to this website here. And we have two options to download MySQL on our device. To download MySQL installer, you can select the operating system from here, and after that you can choose any of these two options. Feel free to choose any of them. In this course we will go with this option. Download this file, this small file, and after downloading it, let me show you how to install it locally on our device. Hit download and wait for the download to finish. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson I will show you how to install MySQL locally on our device. After downloading MySQL from this link, you can use the install launcher to install MySQL locally on our device. And I will show you that in this lesson. And after installing the install launcher or using the install launcher to install MySQL completely locally on our device, to use MySQL in Python programming language, you need to install MySQL or the MySQL connector package. You need to use this command python-m pip install MySQL connector -python. We will use the pip package manager to install the MySQL connector to use MySQL in Python programming language easily without any errors. And after installing it by using the package manager pip, we are gonna test the installation process by using the import statement to import MySQL or to import the MySQL connector. Let me show you that in action. Once you download the MySQL installer and open it on your device, you will see this pop-up window here for the installation process to install MySQL locally on our device. You will see the selection of developer default. Leave this option as it is, hit next. Then you will see some requirement details, hit next after that, yes. After hitting execute, the program will download and install the MySQL server, MySQL workbench to execute the MySQL queries, also MySQL shell, and many options as you can see, and you can see the connector for Python programming language. And wait for the downloading and executing to finish. You can see all the products are downloaded successfully, and you can see the status for each product, downloaded, and so on. After that you can hit next, then hit execute to install these products here, MySQL server, all the downloaded products as you can see, and you can see also connector Python for Python programming language to work with MySQL in Python programming language easily without any errors. Click execute to execute all these products. After installing all these products successfully, MySQL Server, MySQL Workbench, MySQL Shell, and also you can see the connector for Python programming language complete. This is the status for each product. You can hit next after that to complete the installation process. We don't need to change anything for this configuration here. Hit next, then next, and you can type your password here. Let's create a password and repeat this password. After typing this password, add new user from here by clicking on add user. Type any name, any username you wish here in this field, for example Ahmad, and repeat the previous password and confirm it. Now you can hit OK without any errors. Hit next, next after that, and execute, and wait to apply all the configuration steps as you can see here. After applying all the configuration steps for MySQL Server, you can see this message: the configuration for MySQL Server was successful, and click finish. Now you can see the screen for product configuration. Hit next, then finish. Next, type your password here, the previous password we created. Hit check after that. After typing the password here in this field, hit check. You can see the connection succeeded. You can hit next, then execute. Now you can see the configuration operation has completed successfully. You can hit finish to complete this process without any problems. Now you can hit next again, uncheck this and this. We don't need to open the workbench after setup or opening the MySQL shell. We don't need to do that. Hit finish after that. Now all the MySQL products are successfully installed on our device, so you can use MySQL without any errors on your device by following the previous steps. Now we want to test if the MySQL installation was successful or not by using the import statement to import MySQL. Let's open the Python prompt from the command prompt. You can see this is the command prompt window. You can type Python to open the Python shell or the Python prompt, and you will see 3 greater than symbol like that. You can type the import statement to import MySQL. After typing this command, you can hit enter. No errors. Now MySQL installed successfully, and we can use the MySQL driver or connector in Python programming language to use and manipulate the MySQL databases using Python programming language. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson I will show you how to install the MySQL connector to work with MySQL in Python programming language by using the pip package manager. We are gonna use the pip package manager to install the MySQL connector. Let's use the command python-m pip install MySQL-connector-python here inside the Jupyter Notebook. Create a file. Inside the Jupyter Notebook, a Python file. You can create it from the file menu or inside this folder or any folder you just created. Create a file from here, Python file, and in the Jupyter Notebook, make sure to install the MySQL connector. Let's do that. To install the MySQL connector, just use this command as you can see here. Python-m pip install MySQL-connector-python. After that, you can hit shift enter or shift return to install the MySQL connector so that you can use Python programming language to manage the MySQL databases easily. After successfully installing the MySQL connector in Python programming language, now you can import the MySQL connector to test if the MySQL installation was successful or not. Let's do that. Make sure to import the MySQL connector before using it in Python programming language to avoid getting any error. After hitting Shift Enter or Shift Return, or running this cell by using the run button, or if this cell or this statement is executed with no errors, you have the MySQL.connector module installed without any problems, and you can use the MySQL.connector after that to start using MySQL with Python programming language. And as an example, let's use the MySQL.connector to create a connection to a database. To start using the MySQL database with Python programming language by creating a connection to a database, just use the connect built-in method. The connect built-in method to connect to this host, local host. These are the configuration that we are gonna use to connect to our database, and the username, root, and the password we have created is 98765, as you can see in between double quotes. And we assign these values to this variable called newDB. So by printing newDB and hitting Shift Enter or Shift Return, you will get this object here, this reference for this object called new_db, MySQL.connector.connection, and this object at this reference number, as you can see easily. And if the program is executed with no errors, we have successfully created a connection to the database. Now you can start querying the database using the SQL statements, and I'll show you that in next lessons. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson about creating database using Python programming language. In this lesson I'll show you how to create a database by using the create database statement in MySQL. Let's get started. At the beginning you need to import the MySQL connector. After importing the MySQL connector using the import statement, as you can see, the import statement followed by the MySQL.connector, you need to create a connection for the database by using the connect method. Let's do that. We have created a connection for this database by using the connect built-in method, as you can see from the MySQL connector, and we assign this to a variable called new_db. After that we need to use a method called cursor. A cursor is an object which helps to execute or perform the query and fetch the records from the database. The cursor plays a very important role in executing the MySQL syntax or commands in a database session. So let's use the cursor built-in method. You can see in this example here, we call this method to create a cursor, to create a connection for executing the MySQL command. You need to call this function to perform the commands or to perform the MySQL operations, and use it with the variable name for this database connection, as you can see, newDB, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the cursor function or the cursor method, and assign this operation to a variable, and you can call it any valid name you wish. Now we need to create a database by using the create database statement, and to execute this create database statement followed by the name of the database, you need to use the execute built-in method. Let's use it with the new_cursor variable name. By using this statement, we will create a new database called new data. Use the create database statement followed by the name of the database, and you can name it any name you wish. You can replace this name with any name you wish. Just place the create database statement followed by the name in between double quotes inside the round braces of the execute built-in method to execute this command. And you can see the variable name refers to this operation for the cursor built-in method to execute the MySQL command in the database session, to execute the MySQL operations in this session. Now to create this database, you need to hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to execute this full program from here. Now hit Shift Enter or Shift Return. You can see no errors here. The database is created successfully. Now let me show you this database called new data that we have created. You can go to the MySQL workbench to show this database, or you can test or check if a database exists by using two ways in Python programming language. But first, let's go to the MySQL workbench to show this database called new data. This is the MySQL workbench window. Open this MySQL connection, type your password here and hit OK. Let's maximize the screen. To show the database that we have created, you can go to here and you can see this is our database, an empty database. In the MySQL workbench, you can execute any command in MySQL. You can type any MySQL command here or syntax and execute it. This is an easy way. Also, with Python programming language, there are two ways to check if a database exists. The first way is by using the show databases statement. You can check if a database exists by showing all the databases in your system, by listing all databases in your device. Let's see that. Let's go to the Jupyter notebook again to use the show databases statement to check if the new database exists or not. We have a simple example here to check if a database exists or not, if the database called new data exists on our system or not, by using the execute built-in method to execute this show databases statement to show or list all databases on our system. And you need to iterate over the cursor after that, over this new cursor, to display or list all databases one by one by using the for loop. After that, you need to use the for loop to iterate over this cursor. As you can see here, the for loop followed by this variable that represents each database, each item in this loop one by one. And after displaying the first database, it will represent the next one and so on. The for loop with the in keyword for this cursor here, and the print function to print in or to print each item or each database in this loop one by one. You can hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to execute this program to show or list all databases. After hitting Shift Enter or Shift Return or using the Run button, you can see our database here. We have created new data successfully with no errors. This is about checking if a database exists or not. Now let's use the second way for the database existence to check if a database exists or not, to check if this new database exists in our system or not. You can try to access the database when making the connection so easy. When you create a connection by using the connect method, you can add another parameter or another argument here called database. And if this program is executed with no error, the database called new data exists in your system with no errors at all. Let's do that. You can see our example here, the connect built-in method, and the last parameter we have added is called database, and we assign this new database we have created to this variable or this new parameter called database. If you hit Shift Enter or Shift Return with no errors, the database called new data exists in our system with no errors at all. Hit Shift Enter or Shift Return, no errors here. This database actually exists in our system. That's it, easily. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to create tables by using create table statement to create a table in MySQL with Python programming language. Let's get started. First of all, you need to import the MySQL connector. Then you need to create a connection for the database we created previously called new data. You can see here our first statement is importing the MySQL connector by using the import statement to import this package, and you must install it first before importing it. After that, you can see the connect built-in method to create a connection for this database called new data with these parameters. The host equals localhost, user equals root, and our password here, and the last parameter or the last argument for the connect built-in method is the database we have created called new data. As you can see, this is about creating connection to this database, and assign this operation to a variable called newDB or any valid name you wish. Try to make it more descriptive and readable for everyone. We are gonna use this name to access this connection or to use this connection after that with the cursor built-in function to execute the MySQL statements and operations. You can see here we have called the cursor built-in method to execute the MySQL commands and syntax in this session with the new DB. With this connection here, the variable name called new_DB refers to this connection for the database called new data, as you can see, and assign this to a new variable called new cursor, or you can call it any valid name if you wish. After that, let's use the create table statement to create a new table in this database called new data. You can see in this example here the execute built-in method to execute this command or to execute this statement create table to create a new table called students with 2 columns, name and code, as you can see. And after that, after each name, after each column, the database for each record in that column. You can create as many columns as you wish by using the same way. The column name followed by the data type that the data of this column belongs to for each record in that column or each row. And there are many data types available in MySQL. After this statement, if you hit shift enter or shift return and the program is executed with no errors at all, you have successfully created a new table called students. Hit shift enter or shift return to show that. No errors in this example, so the students table is created inside the new data database easily without any problems. Now let's check if this table called students exists by listing all tables in new data database. Let's do that by using the for loop to iterate over this cursor. You can see in this example here, to list all tables in new data database we have created, use the show tables statement and the execute built-in method to execute this statement for this new cursor, the cursor built-in function or built-in method to execute the MySQL operations and commands, and the for loop after that to iterate over this cursor by using this item to display each table one by one, to show all the tables or list all the tables one by one for this iterator here by using the for loop with the in keyword. And you can call this variable any name you wish. You can call it item, n, I, or any valid name you wish. Try to call it, for example, n instead of x if you wish, and use the print function inside the body, inside the indented body of the for loop to print x, to print each item to represent the first table, the second table, and so on inside this database called new data. Hit shift enter or shift return, and you can see we have one table, only a single table inside this database called new data. This table called students is created successfully with no problems, with no errors at all, as you can see. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson I will show you how to add a primary key to a column. When creating a table like the previous table we have created called students, you should also create a column with a unique key for each record. This unique key can be done by defining a primary key, and to do that you can use the int auto increment primary key statement, which will insert a unique key for each record in a column, starting at 1 and increased by 1 for each record. You can create or add primary key to a column when creating the table. Let me show you that. First of all, the import statement to import MySQL connector, and you know that. Then the connection by using the connect built-in method, the connection for this database, the host name, the username, the password, and the database name, as you can see, separate between them using comma, all that inside the round brace. After that you can see the cursor built-in method to perform the MySQL operations and commands. Now let me show you how to add primary key. We have a simple example here. You can see the create table statement here to create a new table called clients in this new database called new data with 3 columns, and you can see the primary key for the first column. You can see here the ID is the name of the first column, name is the second column, and the third column is called code. And you can see the ID is integer, auto increment, and the primary key, as you can see here, this is a unique name. The primary key statement to add a unique number for each record in the ID column, starting at 1 and increased by 1 for each record. The first record will be 1, the second record will be 2 due to using the auto increment here, and this is the data type for each record in the name column, and in between the round braces of this varchar you will see the size, and the third column is called code and its data type with the size of each data type or each record in this column called code. This is to add primary key when creating table. If this program is executed with no errors, the table called clients now has a primary key. Let me show you that. Let's hit shift enter or shift return, or you can use the run button from here to execute this cell. Now the table called clients has a primary key for this first column, which is ID. And if the table already exists, you can use another statement called alter table statement or alter table keyword to create primary key on this existing table. Let me show you that. We have a table called students. Let's use the alter table statement or the alter table keyword to add primary key on this existing table. You can see in this example here the alter table statement for this existing table we have created previously called students, and the add column statement to add a new column with this primary key to add a unique number, and the auto increment statement to insert a unique number for each record starting at 1, and this is integer int auto increment primary key. This statement int auto increment primary key will add a unique number for each record in this students table, and starting at 1 and increased by 1 for each record for this students table we have created previously. Now if you hit shift enter or shift return and the program is executed with no errors at all, the table called students now has a primary key using this statement. All that inside the round braces of the execute built-in method. The variable refers to this cursor built-in method, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the execute built-in method to execute this statement to add the unique number or the primary key. Hit shift enter or shift return to add this primary key. Okay, no errors at all for this example here. So the table called students now has a primary key by using this statement. All what you need to do is importing the MySQL connector, then create a connection, use the cursor built-in function or built-in method, and after that by using the new cursor or the cursor built-in method with this execute built-in method, you can execute this statement to add new primary key, to add primary key to the students table, this existing table. And if you want to create primary key or add primary key to new table, just use the create table statement to create a new table like this example here, followed by the table name, followed by the name for each column like ID, name, and code. And for this table you can add primary key by using this statement, as you can see. The data type followed by the auto increment statement followed by the primary key statement. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to insert data into tables in MySQL with Python programming language by using the insert into statement. You can use the insert into statement to add information or new data to a table. Let me show you that. Let's add a new record to a table we created previously called students. After importing the MySQL connector and creating this connection by using the connect method and also using the cursor to perform the MySQL commands and operation, you can use the insert into statement to insert new information or a new record to a table we have created called students. You can see here in this example the insert into statement to insert a new record to this table called students, and the values to insert new values for these two placeholders, name and code, for the new record. Let's add two values for the new record for each column, name and code, a value for name and a value for code. You can see here we assign this to a new variable called new_vals, and for this new record the first value for the first column called name is Ronaldo, and the second column, the value for the second column for this new record is code 12. As you can see here, you can insert anything you wish in between these double quotes, and Ronaldo will be inserted in this placeholder as a new value, and also this value will be inserted in this placeholder as a new value for the new record in this column called code. And the first column called ID will be incremented by 1 for each time, starting at 1 and increased by 1 for each record. The first record will be 1, the second record will be 2, the third record will be 3, and so on. Now you need to use the execute statement with this cursor to execute these statements, these MySQL commands. All what you need to do is using or calling the execute built-in method to execute new SQL and new values. It has two parameters. This method has two parameters or two arguments in this case. Separate between them using comma. The first one is for the insert into statement to insert new values for the new record, and the second one is the values, as you can see, for the first record. The variable name refers to these two values for the name column and the code column for our new record. And don't forget to place this cursor or this cursor variable here refers to the cursor built-in method followed by the execute method or function. Now after that you need to use a new function called commit, and this statement or this function or this method is required to make the changes, otherwise no changes are made to the table. So let's add this statement called commit. You can see we call the commit statement after the variable name refers to this connection to this database called new data. This is required to make the changes, and as we said before, otherwise no changes are made to the table. So make sure to put the variable name newDB here, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the commit built-in statement or built-in function. After that, let's print the row count by using the row count attribute with the print built-in function. You can see here, after using this statement, we got this output: one new record inserted. The row count, the counting comes first, only a single record is inserted with these two values for each column, Ronaldo and code 12 for the code column. And you can see this message here, new record inserted, and you can change this message if you wish. The print function is a built-in function to show the output on the screen. For this new cursor, we use this new cursor refers to the cursor statement to execute the MySQL statements and operations, and the row count statement or the row count method is used to display the row count in MySQL, and the second argument or the second parameter inside the round braces of the print function, you can see new record inserted. This is a normal string or a simple message. You can insert any message you wish. That's it, easily. Hit shift enter or shift return after that to show the output on the screen. All what you need to do is importing the MySQL connector, create a connection. After that, use the cursor statement to execute the MySQL statements. To insert a new record, use the insert into statement followed by the name of the table and the column names, as you can see, followed by the values statement and the placeholders for each one, for each column, and the two values, as you can see here, Ronaldo for the first column for this new record, and for the same new record, code is a new value for the code column. After that, use the cursor to execute all the statements or the MySQL statements for the new SQL variable, this statement here, and also for the second variable called new vals, this statement here, and the commit statement after that, after the variable refers to this connection, and the commit statement is used to make the changes to this database, to this connection for this database called new data. And the print function to print the row count after inserting this new record. You can hit shift enter or use the run button from here to run this program. That's it, easily. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson I will show you how to insert multiple or many rows or records into a table by using the execute many statement or the execute many method. Instead of using the execute statement here, you can use the execute many statement to insert multiple or many rows or records into a table or into this table called students. Let me show you that. You can use the same statement here, copy this statement, and after that, to add many records to this table called students, you can add or you can assign list of values or list of tuples to this variable called new vals. Let me show you that. Previously, we inserted only a single record to this table called students, and this record, as you can see, the value for the first record in this table. And now by using these values, we want to insert 4 records. These 4 values for the next 4 records after the first record for Ronaldo. Ronaldo with its code, as you can see here. And also, as you can see, to add many values, you can add tuples inside a list of tuples here, and you can add as many records as you wish, not only 4 after the first record. You can insert many records by using the same way. Now, after that, you need to use the execute main statement instead of using the execute statement. You can see the execute main statement here after the new cursor variable refers to the cursor statement to execute this method or this statement, and it has 2 parameters here, new SQL and new values. The cursor statement or the cursor method is used to execute or perform the MySQL statements and methods, also in addition to operations. The execute main statement has 2 arguments in this case. The first one is the variable name new SQL, refers to the insert into statement to insert values for these 2 columns, name and code. The insert into statement followed by the name of the existing table. And the second parameter or the second argument for the execute main method or the execute main statement is the variable name, refers to the record values. As you can see, this is for the second record, the third record, the fourth record, and the last record. As you can see, Messi is the value for the name column for the second record, and code 30 is the value for the code column for the second record. And for the first record, this is the value for the first record. The value of name is Ronaldo, and the value of code equals code 12. After that, you need to use the commit method or the commit statement to make the changes to this table called students, to make the changes for this students table for the new data database. So use a commit built-in statement for MySQL with this new DB or this connection for the database called new data. Let's do that. You can see here the commit statement with this variable name refers to the connection for this database to make changes for this connection for this database called new data, to make these changes to this database, to add the new records here after the first record we added previously. Now let's use the print function with the row count statement to display the row count on the screen. You can see the print function here, and in between the round braces of the print function you can see the cursor variable to execute the SQL or the MySQL statement, row count to display the row count, and the second parameter or the second argument for the print function is the string records inserted. Hit shift enter or shift return and you can see 4 records inserted. 4 new records are inserted into this table called students for the first column and the second column, and you can see these are the values. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson I will show you how to use the select statement in MySQL to select tables data. We want to select all data from the students table we have created previously. You can use the select statement with the fetch all method to do that. Let me show you that. You can see this is the full program to fetch all the information or all the data from the students table we have created. You can see here our first step is importing the MySQL connector by using the import statement followed by the name of the module in Python programming language to work with the MySQL library. After that you need to create the database connection by using the connect method. You can see that here by using this module MySQL.connector we use the connect built-in method or the connect statement with this information for our database called new data. The host name, this is the first argument inside the round braces of the connect method or the connect statement. The second argument is the username. The third argument is the password. And the database, our database is called new data. We separate between them using comma, as you can see here. Assign this to a variable and call it any name you wish, any valid name, any descriptive name you wish. After that, you can see the cursor. The cursor statement is used to perform the MySQL statements and operations. And by using this cursor statement, you can use the execute statement to execute the MySQL command, this MySQL statement here, to select all the information from the students table. To select all the information from the students table, you need to use the asterisk symbol here. The select statement followed by the asterisk symbol followed by the from keyword followed by the name of the table. All that inside the round braces of the execute statement or the execute method. You can see the cursor. The variable name refers to the cursor statement to execute or to perform this operation, and also to perform the fetch all method or the fetch all statement here. You need to use the cursor with it. Refers to the cursor method, as you can see, followed by the dot notation followed by this method to fetch all the rows or to fetch all the records from the students table here. And after that, after this statement here, you can see for loop to iterate over this iterator here refers to the items or the data or the records from the students table one by one. And the print function inside the indented body of the for loop to print the records one by one. Now you need to hit shift enter or shift return to show the output on the screen. You can see here in the output, many records are repeated because we executed the previous cells many times. So each time you execute this cell, for example here, each time you execute this cell and after that execute this program again, you will see new records, new repeated records from our program are inserted here in the database called new data inside this table called students. That's it, easily. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. Previously we talked about how to select all the information from the students table by using the asterisk symbol. And in this lesson I will show you how to select only some of the columns in this table called students by using the select statement also followed by the column names instead of using this asterisk symbol. Let me show you that. You can see our program here. First of all, the import statement to import the connector or the driver, the MySQL connector, this module in Python programming language to work with the MySQL database. After that, you can see to create a connection for this database called new data, we use the connect statement or the connect method from the MySQL connector. And we assign this operation to a variable called newDB. You can name it any name you wish. Call it any valid name, but try to make it more descriptive and readable. After that, you can see the cursor statement or the cursor method to execute the MySQL statements. To execute or perform the MySQL statements, as you can see, we assign this cursor to a variable called new cursor. We use it with this connection newDB for the database called new data. This variable refers to the connection to this database with these information: host name, the user, root, password equals this password, our password we created previously, the database name, and our database equals new data in between double quotes, as you can see. After that, we use the cursor statement with the execute statement to execute this MySQL statement to perform this operation. The new cursor refers to the cursor statement with this connection followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of this statement, the execute statement to execute the MySQL or perform the MySQL statement here, the select statement to select the name and the code columns from this table called students from the database called new data we created previously. After that, and by using the new cursor, also by using the cursor statement, we use the fetch all method or the fetch all statement to fetch all the information from this table, to fetch these selections here, name and code, and we assign this operation to a variable called new data by using single equal sign, as you can see. And to display the data one by one, we use the for loop to iterate over this sequence here, to iterate over this sequence or this iterator called new data for these data from the table called students here. The for loop followed by this variable, you can name it, you can call it item, you can call it n, I, or any valid name you wish in Python programming language. The in keyword followed by the iterator here that we assign this operation to it, as you can see, to fetch the name and the code columns from this table called students. And you can see inside the indented body of the for loop with these 4 white spaces, the print function to print this x variable to display the first record for these 2 columns, name and code, then the second record, the third record, and so on until reaching the last item. It will iterate over this iterator called new data simply. Let's hit shift enter or shift return, or you can use the run button from here to show the output, and you will see all the records one by one for only these 2 columns, and you can choose one if you wish. For example, let's remove the code column and hit shift enter again or shift return. You can see all the records for this column only, the name column from the students table, the select statement followed by the name of the column or the columns, followed by the from keyword, followed by the name of the table, and the fetch all statement. After that, then you can iterate over the records one by one, starting from the first record and until reaching the last one, which is someone, as you can see here. This is the last record. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Do you want to select only a single record or a single row from the students table or any table you created from this database called new data? To do that, you can use a method or you can use a statement called fetch one. Instead of using the fetch all statement here, you can use the fetch one method to select only a single row, the first row of the result or the first row in the students table. Let me show you that. You can see our program here. This program to fetch only the first row in the students table. First of all, you need to import the MySQL connector. Then create this connection by using the connect method to create a connection for this database called new data we created previously. Localhost root is the username and this is our password, and the database is called new data. Separate between them using comma in between the round braces of the connect method. This is from the MySQL connector. This package or this module in Python programming language. Assign this to a variable and you can call it any valid name you wish, but try to make it more meaningful and descriptive. After that, you have to create a cursor by using the cursor statement to execute or perform the MySQL statements, like this example here. To execute this statement by using the execute method, you need to access this cursor here. You need to type new cursor refers to the cursor method, followed by the dot notation, followed by the execute statement or the execute method to execute this statement to select all the data from the students table, but from all these data from the students table, we want to fetch only a single record. We want to fetch only or select only a single record, the first record in this students table. And to use this method, you need to use the new cursor or the cursor method. As you can see, the variable name refers to the cursor method, followed by the dot notation, followed by the fetch one statement here. Assign this to a variable, and you can print this variable to get its value, to get the result of using the fetch one statement with this cursor. As you can see, the cursor statement or the cursor method is used to perform the MySQL operations, methods, statements, and many more. You have to use it. You must use it here to avoid getting errors. That's all about it. You can see the print function to print out the result on the screen. Now to show the output on the screen, to show the first row of the result on the screen of this new data, you have to hit Shift Enter or Shift Return, or you can use the Run button to run this cell here to show the output. Hit Shift Enter. Now you can see the first record. The first record, as you can see here, Ronaldo got 12 and 1. That's it. We got only a single record, the first record or the first row in the students table. This is for the name column, this is for the code column, and this is for the ID column that will be incremented by 1 for each time. For the next item or the next row, it will be 2 instead of 1. This is due to using int auto increment primary key, as you can see. Now let's summarize all what we have done here. First of all, you can see the import statement to import the driver, then the connection, the cursor, the execute statement with the cursor to execute the select statement to select the information from the students table, then the fetch one statement with that cursor to fetch only the first record from the table called students, and the print function to print out the result or to display the output on the screen, and hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to get the output, as you can see. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. You can select information from a table based on a condition, or you can filter the selection by using the where statement. The where statement is so powerful to select the data from a table with a filter. Let me show you that in action for the students table. You can see here the where statement to filter the selection. As you can see, we want to select only the records that have Ronaldo as a value, as you can see for the name column. First of all, the select statement to select all the information from the students table, and after that the where statement to set this condition. We want to select all the records that have Ronaldo as a value in the name column. So let's use the fetch all statement to fetch all the information, to fetch all the selected information based on this condition by using the fetch all statement. As you can see, after selecting all the information or all the data from the students table that match this condition or this filter, we use the execute statement to execute this statement here. To execute this statement, this MySQL statement, by using the cursor. You need to use the cursor to perform this operation here, followed by the dot notation, followed by the execute statement. Or you can put this statement here with the double quotes inside the round braces of the execute method, but assign this to a variable to make it more readable and understandable, and put the name of that variable as an argument for the execute method. After that, you can see the fetch all statement to fetch all the selections from this table called students here, and use the cursor also to execute this operation or to execute this method, you need to use the cursor to perform the MySQL operations and methods, and assign this operation also to a variable called new data. Now you need to iterate over this variable, this iterator, to display the records one by one. To display the records, all the records that match this condition or this filter here, name equals Ronaldo, all the records that have Ronaldo as a value for the name column. You can see here, to iterate over this iterator or to display all the items in the sequence or all the records that match this condition one by one, use the for loop with the for keyword in Python programming language, followed by the variable name that will represent each record one by one. It will represent the first record, and after displaying or looping through the first record, it will display the second one, and so on until reaching the last one in this sequence or this iterator called new data here. And the print function inside the indented body of the for loop to print the output on the screen, to print x, and you can name it. You can name the variable x any name you wish. You can call it I, n, item, data, or any valid name you wish in Python programming language. Follow the rules for naming variables to give this variable a name. Now you need to hit shift enter or shift return, or you can use the run button to show the output on the screen. You can see the output here, all the records that match this condition here. You can see name equals Ronaldo for each record, as you can see easily for the name column. You can set another condition instead of name equals Ronaldo if you wish. For example, you can change it to Salah and hit shift enter or shift return to show the output, and you can see this is our output here. The output is changed now based on this condition for the first column called name. And you can use another column if you wish. You can change this to code, and you can set the code here to display all the items that match this code. Now hit shift enter again. You can see the output on the screen here, all the records that match this condition where code equals code 06. That's all about it. Let's summarize all what we have done here. First of all, import the MySQL connector or driver and create connection. Then use the cursor statement or the cursor method to perform the MySQL statements, and assign the select statement to a variable to select all the information or all the data from the students table with this asterisk symbol, where this condition here, this is our filter where code equals this code, and you can change this condition if you wish. Now put this variable as an argument for the execute statement to execute this statement, this MySQL statement, by using the cursor statement with the execute statement. The cursor is used to execute this operation with the execute statement to perform this MySQL operation. And don't forget to place the variable name here inside the rounded braces of the execute method. After that, the fetch all statement to fetch all the selections here with this cursor also. Cursor is very important. Assign this to a variable, and you need to iterate over this variable to display the records, the selecting records one by one from the students table, the for loop to iterate over this new data, and the print function to print all the records one by one, all the selecting records one by one. That's all about it. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson we will discuss the wildcard characters in MySQL to select the records, also with the where statement that start, include, or end with a given letter, phrase or statement. You can use the percentage sign or you can use the reminder sign to represent wildcard characters in MySQL with the where statement here to filter the selection records. That's it simply. Let's select specific records or filter specific records in the previous example. You can see the formula of using the wildcard characters in MySQL. As you can see, the where statement with the like statement. We want to select all the records from the name column that have this word called messy, and we place messy in between, as you can see, percentage signs. You can hit shift enter or shift return after that to show the output, to show the selection records. All the records that have messy in the name column, as you can see, by using the wildcard character, or you can replace it with Ronaldo or with any existing name in the name column if you wish. You can hit shift enter again to show the output. The output is changed now, as you can see. You can see this is the name column, all the records that have Ronaldo as a value for the first column called name. That's it, easily by using wildcard. First of all, use the import statement to import the driver or the connector. The import statement followed by the name of the connector. Create this connection for the database you created. Our database is called new data, as you can see. Localhost is the host name. The user is equal to root. Password equals this password we created previously, and our database, all that inside the round braces of the connect statement to create connection to this database here from the MySQL driver. Assign this to a variable, and you can use this variable name with the cursor statement here to perform the MySQL operations or to use the MySQL methods after that. The cursor is so important. The cursor method is so important. Assign this operation to a variable called new cursor or any valid name, any descriptive name you wish. Then use the MySQL statement here to filter the records to select all the information from the students table by using the select statement. And after that, you can see the where statement to filter all the records based on the name column, like Ronaldo, all the records that have Ronaldo as a value. And also you can see we assign this operation to a variable called new SQL, and to execute this statement you need to use the cursor method here. This is the variable refers to the cursor method, and the execute statement to execute this operation or to perform or execute this statement, this MySQL statement. Now to fetch all the selecting records, you need to use the fetch all statement with the new cursor, with the cursor statement. Assign this to a variable, and you need to iterate over this sequence or this iterator by using the for loop. For x in new data and print x. X refers to each record one by one. It will display the first one, then it will represent the second one, and so on until reaching the last one in this iterator called new data. That's all about it. And you can change Ronaldo, for example, to any valid name you wish in the name record. For example, Pogba. Hit shift enter, and you can see the output is changed successfully. That's all about it easily. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Do you want to sort the selecting records or to sort the selecting result in an ascending order or descending order? You can do that by using the order by statement in MySQL. After selecting all the information from the students table or any table you have created, you can use the order by statement followed by the name of the column to sort all the data based on this column in an ascending order or descending order. Let me show you that. You can see in this example here the import statement to import the MySQL connector or driver, followed by this connection by using the connect statement to our database called new data. And you can see inside the round braces of the connect statement or the connect method all the information here, 4 parameters or these 4 arguments with the host name, with the username, the password equals our password we created, and our database equals new data here. Assign this to a variable, assign the MySQL.connector.connect to a variable, and call it any valid name, any descriptive name you wish. And don't forget to use the cursor statement or the cursor method to perform the MySQL operations. And use the MySQL methods by using this cursor statement. Assign this to a variable to use the variable name many times, to use or access the cursor statement with this variable easily. And you can see our operation here, our statement. This is our MySQL statement, the select statement followed by the asterisk symbol to select all the information from the students table. The from keyword followed by the name of the table from the new data database. And the order by statement here. The order by statement is used to sort the result in an ascending order by default. And if you want to sort the result or the selecting records in descending order, you can use the DESC keyword or statement in MySQL after the column name here. The result will be sorted alphabetically by the name column easily by using the order by statement. You can see the new cursor variable to access this statement or this method to use the execute statement to perform this operation. You must use the cursor before using the execute statement to execute this operation here for this variable, this MySQL operation or this MySQL statement. Place the variable name in between the round braces of the execute statement here. And after that, use the cursor also. The cursor method or the cursor variable refers to the cursor method with the fetch all statement to fetch all the information, all the selected information from here, from the students table, and assign this operation to a variable called new data. And you need to use the for loop to iterate over the sequence to display the records one by one, the selected records one by one based on this sorting here by using the order by statement. Now hit shift enter or shift return, or you can use the run button to execute this program. You can see the results are sorted alphabetically by the name column M, then P, then R, then S, and so on. As you can see, that's it easily. You can replace the name column with the code column or any existing column in the students table or any table you created. That's it easily. If you want to select or sort the results in descending order instead of using the ascending order by default, you can use the DESC keyword here. Let me show you that. This is our DESC keyword to sort all the results or all the records in descending order for the name column based on the values in the name column. Hit shift enter or shift return to show the difference. As you can see S now comes first, then R, then P, then M. That's it easily. The results now are sorted in descending order instead of using ascending order. You can replace this column with another name if you wish, with another column, for example the code column. Hit shift enter and you can see now in a descending order based on this code column. And you can see now the output is sorted in a descending order instead of using ascending order by default. That's all about using the order by statement in MySQL with Python programming language. Create the MySQL connection with the MySQL.connector, our driver, then use the connect statement to create the database connection with the host name, username, password, and the database name, and then use the cursor statement. After that, select all the information from the students table by using the select statement with the asterisk symbol, and the order by statement to sort the data based on the code column or the name column if you wish, in an ascending order by default or descending order by using the DESC statement or keyword. Then use the execute statement with the cursor to execute this MySQL statement to select the data from the students table, and the fetch all statement after that with the cursor statement or the cursor variable to fetch all or to select all the information, all the selected information from the students table. And at the end of this program, you can see the for loop to iterate over this sequence or this iterator to display the selected records one by one. And you can call this variable any valid name you wish, and you know that, and the print function in between the indented body of the for loop to print out the output on the screen to show the results one by one. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, I will show you how to delete records from an existing table. You can delete records from an existing table simply by using the delete from statement in MySQL. Let's see this in action. You can use the delete from statement like this example here, followed by the name of the table and the where statement to set this condition to delete all the records that have name equals Messi, that have Messi as a value in the name column. This is so easy as you can see. After that, you need to use the execute statement with the cursor to execute this statement, and the execute statement or the execute method will take this variable refers to this operation as an argument. You can see here the execute statement. After the new cursor variable refers to the cursor method. The cursor method or the cursor statement is used to perform this operation and is used to perform the MySQL methods and operations easily. So you must use it first, followed by the dot notation, followed by the execute statement to execute this variable refers to this operation to execute this MySQL statement easily to delete all the records that have Messi as a name inside the students table. And after that, you need to use a statement called commit, and the commit statement is required to make these changes, otherwise no changes are made to this table called students. So let's use it. You can see the commit statement here to make the changes to this database here, to this connection. This is the variable refers to this operation here. We assign this operation or this connection to this variable called newDB, and you can call it any name you wish. You can see what is inside the round braces of the connect statement here. 4 arguments or 4 parameters: the host name, the username, the password, and the last one is our database name, new data. After that, let's use the print function to display the row count by using the cursor, also the cursor statement by using its variable name from here. You can see the print function here, and inside the round braces of the print function by using the cursor statement. The cursor variable here refers to the cursor statement for this connection here to execute this statement, the row count statement to display the row count for the deleted records. And you can see this string data type. After that, this message, you will see this message after this counting. Hit shift enter or shift return to show the output on the screen. But wait, before running this cell, we need to change something here. It's considered a good practice to escape the values of any query. This is to prevent SQL injections, which is a common web hacking technique to destroy your database. And the MySQL connector package in Python programming language or module uses the placeholder %s to escape values in the delete statement. So let's do that before running this program for best practicing. You can see our changes here. We assign this placeholder %s or reminder s as a value for the name column, and we assign the value of the name column, as you can see in this example, messy, to delete or remove all the records that have messy as a value. And after that, you can see the execute statement. Inside the rounded braces of the execute statement, put the variable name as a second argument in between the rounded braces of the execute statement. This is so powerful step to prevent SQL injections. Now, if you hit Shift Enter or Shift Return, you will see all the records that have messy is deleted from the database or from the table called students from the database called new data. Hit Shift Enter or Shift Return to run this program, and you can see 4 records deleted from new data. And make sure to place this comma after messy, otherwise you will get an error in the output. You can see the row count, the number of records that are deleted from our table called students are 4 equals 4, as you can see, followed by records deleted from new data easily, as you can see. From new data, you can type students from new data. So easy and so simple, as you can see. This is our example here. You can see our first step is importing the MySQL connector. Then after importing the MySQL connector or driver in Python programming language to work with the MySQL database, you need to create this connection to our database called new data by using the MySQL module followed by the connect statement or the connect method. The hostname equals localhost, then comma, user equals root, our username, then comma, the password we set equals 98765 inside double quotes, comma, and the last parameter, as you can see, database equals new data, all that inside the rounded braces of the connect statement. Assign this operation to a variable to use this variable many times to access this connection or to use this connection after that. The next step is using the cursor method or the cursor statement to perform or execute the MySQL statements easily, and also is used to perform the MySQL methods without any problems, without any errors. Assign this operation to a variable called new cursor, or you can call it any name you wish. Follow the rules for naming variables in Python programming language to give this variable a name. New DB refers to the connection followed by the calling of the cursor statement or the cursor method. And after that, you can see the delete from statement. The delete from keyword is used to delete from students table where name equals this placeholder and messy in this placeholder. So where name equals messy easily, and make sure to put this name as a second parameter or a second argument for the execute statement to execute this full statement here due to using this new SQL, and also the name variable easily. And make sure to put the new cursor refers to the cursor statement to execute this operation, otherwise you will get an error in the output. And the commit statement here is used to make the changes in this connection, otherwise you will get an error also. You have to make the changes, otherwise nothing will change. So it's very important to use this method with this connection here. NewDB refers to this connection to the new data database, and the print function after that to print the row count, the number of rows or the number of records that are deleted from our database by using the row count attribute or the row count keyword here with the new cursor refers to the cursor statement followed by any string you type here without any problem, and hit shift enter or shift return after that to show the output on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. If you have an existing table in MySQL, you can use the drop table statement to delete this existing table if you wish. You can assign the drop table statement followed by the name of the table to a variable and use this variable as an argument for the execute statement to do that. Let's see this in action. Previously, we created this table called clients, and at this moment, we want to drop this table or delete or remove this table, this full table called clients from the new data database. To do that, use the drop table statement followed by the name of the table and assign this to a variable, and you can use this variable as an argument for the execute statement. Let's use the execute statement with the new cursor or the cursor statement. The new cursor variable refers to the cursor statement here. Instead of using the variable name as an argument for the execute statement or the execute method, you can put this statement here inside the round braces of the execute statement. But this is more clear and understandable, more readable for everyone. Now if you hit shift enter or shift return to run this program with no errors, the table called the clients is deleted from the new data database. Hit shift enter or return or use the run button and you can see no error. This table is completely dropped or deleted from the database called new data. All what you need to do is importing the module in Python programming language by this reserved keyword, the import statement, to import this package to work with the MySQL, and use the MySQL connector with the connect statement to create this connection to our database with the host name, user, password, and the database name, as you can see, separate between them using comma, and the cursor statement here. The cursor statement to perform this operation here or any operation in MySQL. This is very important statement or very important method in MySQL. Use it with the connection, with this connection to the new data database. The variable name refers to the database here or this connection, and assign this to a variable so that you can use this variable name to access or to use the cursor method many times in this program. After that, use the drop table statement followed by the table name, any existing table name you wish, and assign this to a variable and use the variable name as an argument for the execute statement to execute this MySQL statement here, this MySQL syntax. After that, you need to run this program, and after running the program directly, you will see clients is deleted from the database called new data without any problems. And if you want to use the drop statement with a table that is already deleted or already removed from the database called new data or any database for any reason, you can use the if exists keyword to avoid getting an error once you hit shift enter or running this cell. Because if you want to hit shift enter again here, you will get an error because this table is deleted now. Hit shift enter again, you can see we have an error here. To avoid this error, you can use the if exists statement followed by the name of the table. You can see here the drop table statement followed by if exists statement followed by the name of the table that already deleted from our database called new data. Hit shift enter again, you can see No errors at all here in this program. So easy and so simple, as you can see, without any problems. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. If you have an existing table in a database and you want to change existing records or update existing records in this table, you can do that by using the update statement. The update statement is used to change or update existing records or rows in a table. Let's see this in action. You can see here in this example the update statement to update the students table. We want to change every code 12 value to this new value for Ronaldo. When name equals Ronaldo, we want to change this value for the code column to this new value. So use the set statement here to set this new value and the where statement to set this condition. Set code equals code 07 where code equals code 12. After that, use the execute statement to execute this variable to execute this MySQL statement easily, and the commit statement or the commit method after the execute statement to apply the changes in our database called new data for this table called students. You can see in this example here the execute statement after the cursor variable refers to the cursor method to execute this MySQL statement here to update this value to this new value for the code column for all the records that have this value. We are gonna change this value to this value easily in the code column. And after that, you can see the commit method or the commit statement for this connection to make these changes to our database called new data. That's it, easily. Now you need to use the print function with the row count method or the row count attribute with this cursor statement or this cursor method to display the row count on the screen. You can see the print function, and in between the round braces of the print function you can see the first argument is the row count and the new cursor variable to execute this statement. The cursor statement or the cursor method is used to execute or to perform the MySQL statements and methods. So after that, after the counting, you will see records changed in students table, this string data type here. And this comma will be placed in the output with a space, a single white space. Hit shift enter or shift return to show the output on the screen. You can see the output here for records changed in students table. However, for best practicing, try to prevent the SQL injections by using the reminder s placeholder also in this example. You can do that as follows. This program will give you the same result, but this program is a good practice to skip the values of any query in MySQL to prevent the SQL injections and also to prevent the MySQL to be destroyed, to prevent this database to be destroyed. So use this placeholder here and here, and the value for this placeholder is this value is the first value for the where statement for this condition, and the second value here is the new value that we want. And after that, make sure to place this variable as a second argument in the round braces of the execute method, as you can see, and the cursor comes first to perform this operation easily. After that, the commit statement to make the changes to our database, and the output, you will see this output also for records changed in students table. First of all, import the MySQL connector, then create this connection by using the connect statement with these parameters or these arguments: the host name, the username, the password, and the last one, the database name, new data, or any database you created. Then use the cursor method with this connection for the database, and after that use the update statement to update the students table with the set statement to set new value, this new value here in this position in this placeholder, instead of this value for each record in the code column, instead of using this value while name equals Ronaldo. And the new cursor refers to the cursor method with the execute statement to execute these two operations, these two MySQL operations, and also the commit statement to make the changes. Otherwise, nothing will be changed in the database, and the print function to print the row count by using the row count statement with the cursor to perform this row count statement or row count method followed by this string, and you can replace the string with any string or any message you wish. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson we will talk about the limit statement in MySQL with Python programming language. You can use this statement to limit the number of rows or records returned from the query. Let me show you that in this example here. You can see this example to select all the data from the students table by using the select statement. First of all, import the MySQL.connector module in Python programming language and create this connection, the host name, the username, the password, and the database name, all these arguments inside the round braces of the connect method, and use the cursor statement to execute the MySQL statements and operations, also methods. And after that you can see the select statement with the asterisk symbol to select all the data or all the information from this table, from this existing table in the new database called students. After the name of the table, suppose we want to select the 4 first records in this table called students. To do that, use the limit statement. Let me show you that. You can see in this example here the limit statement after the table name followed by 4 to select the 4 first records in the table called students from the new database. Hit shift enter or shift return to show the output, and you can see this is our output. Only 4 records, the first 4 records in this table called students from the new database. You can select, for example, 7 records, or you can change this number to 10 if you wish, and you can select any number of records from this existing table or any table you have created. Also, you can start from another position in this table instead of starting from the beginning of the students table or any table. You can do that by using the offset statement or the offset keyword with the limit statement or the limit keyword. Let me show you that. You can see in this example here the offset statement or the offset keyword after the limit keyword. So what is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is we want to select only 3 records after the 4th record. We want to select the record number 5, the record number 6, and the record number 7 from the table called students by using this statement here and the execute statement to execute this MySQL statement. And make sure to put the cursor variable refers to the cursor method to execute this MySQL statement easily. Now you need to run this program to show the output, to show these 3 records after the record number 4. You can see starting from position 5 and return only 3 records from the students table, as you can see in this example here. Try to remove that and hit Shift Enter. Select all the information or all the data from the students table, and you can see all the records here. This is the record number 5, the record number 6, and the record number 7. And try to use the limit statement to select only these 3 records starting after this position by using the offset keyword, starting after the record number 4. So you will get these 3 values. Hit Shift Enter and you can see the output simply. That's all about it easily. You can change this number to any number you wish, 4 instead of 3, and this 5 instead of 4. Hit Shift Enter to show the output. As you can see, 4 records. We got these 4 records in the output starting from the record number 6 after this record. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this section we will talk about the SQLite. SQLite is one of the easiest, most lightweight SQL databases, and you can use it directly without any need to install anything. Just import the SQLite 3 library or module or package in Python programming language and you can use it. You can import the SQLite 3 package by using the import statement. Then you can connect to an existing database, or you can create a new database from the ground up, and you can execute all the SQL statements on the database easily. Let me show you all of that in action. Just go ahead and type the import statement followed by the name of the package, which is SQLite 3, to work with the SQL databases easily. After that, you can use the SQLite databases without any problems by importing the SQLite 3 library in Python programming language. It's so easy, no need to install anything. In the same working directory, let's use the connect statement or the connect method to create or to connect to a new database called data testing, or you can call it anything else if you wish. Let me show you that. Create a variable and assign SQLite3.connect as a value to it. As you can see here, the SQLite 3 followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the connect method to create a new database called data testing. As you can see, data testing followed by the extension refers to this database, which is .db at the end of the file name or the database name inside double quotes inside the round braces of the connect method from the SQLite 3. And you know this connect built-in statement or function to create a new database or to connect to this database called data testing to start this connection from the SQLite 3. Assign this to a variable and you can call it any name you wish. You can call it new connection, or any valid name, any descriptive name you wish. Follow the rules for naming variables in Python programming language to call this variable easily. In the same working directory for this Python file, if no database with that name called data testing is found, a new one is created by using the connect statement. That's it, easily. Let's go to the same working directory to see that file or this database. You will see it is created. Let's move to the current working directory to see this data testing file easily. From here, you can see data testing is created. Data testing, this is our DB file, our database file we have created by using the SQLite 3, by using the connect statement or the connect method from the SQLite 3. It's a SQL statement or a SQL method to create a connection or create a database. The connect function or method in SQLite 3 returns a SQLite 3.connection object, and you can use the type built-in function with the new connection variable refers to our new connection to get the SQLite 3.connection object. Let me show you that. Go ahead and use the type built-in function for the variable name new connection, and you can see the output in this case is this object SQLite 3.connection. And also you can use the type built-in function for this example as an argument for the print function to print the class type for this connection. You will get class SQLite 3.connection. Go ahead and place the print function, and in between the round braces of the print function use the type function like that, and you can see we got the class type for this connection. The connect function, as we said, returns a SQLite 3.connection object like this here, which you can verify with the type built-in function, or you can use the print function with the type built-in function to get the class type, which is class SQLite 3.connection. This is the class type. By using the SQLite 3 library in Python programming language, you can execute any SQL statement or any SQL method. For example, let's call the cursor statement. The cursor statement or the cursor function is used to perform the SQL statements or the SQL methods easily. You have to call it. Let's call it with this connection. Create a variable called new cursor and assign the new connection .cursor, the calling of the cursor function, to this variable called new cursor. The cursor function is so important in SQL, in any SQL database, to perform or to execute the SQL operations and methods. So use the new connection refers to the SQLite 3.connect, refers to the connection for our database called data testing, and use the cursor statement, use the cursor function, the calling of that function with this connection, and assign it to a variable. And if you want to print the type of this new cursor or this cursor, you will get SQLite 3.cursor. This is the object type for that cursor. Or you can use the print function with the type built-in function for this new cursor to get the class type for this cursor, which is class SQLite 3.cursor. Let me show you that. Let's use the print function with the type built-in function to get the class type for this cursor. Inside the round braces of the print function, type the type built-in function with this new cursor as an argument for the type built-in function to get the class type. As you can see, the output in this case is this class type for our new cursor, refers to the cursor statement to perform the SQL operations and methods. The class type for the cursor function is SQLite 3.cursor, as you can see after the class keyword inside tags. This is the output. Or you can use the type built-in function without using the print function to get the SQLite 3.cursor directly without the class keyword at the beginning. If you want to execute any SQL operation or to fetch results from a database, you have to use the cursor function. The cursor function is so important in the SQL databases. Now let me show you a simple example for this SQLite library. Let's use the datetime function to get the current local time. It's so easy by using the datetime function or method from the SQLite library in Python programming language by using the select statement. To get the current date and time in the SQLite 3, use this statement, the select statement, as you can see, followed by the name of the method datetime. This is a SQL function from the SQLite 3 library in Python programming language, and it has two parameters or two arguments. The first one is now to get the current date and time, and the local time to get the local time now. This is so easy statement. Try to type the correct statement. This is a simple SQL syntax. The select statement followed by the name of the function with the arguments of that function, all that inside double quotes, as you can see. Assign this to a variable called new SQL, called new query, or any valid variable, any valid name you wish. Try to make the variable name more descriptive. And you can see semicolon at the end of the SQL statement here to mark the end of the statement, to make your code more readable and understandable for everyone. After that, you need to use the execute function in SQL to execute this SQL statement, the selected time statement, easily. We are gonna use the execute statement with the cursor function, or the variable name refers to the cursor function, to execute this SQL statement easily. The cursor variable followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the execute function, and you can see the parameter or the argument is the new SQL, refers to this SQL syntax selected time in between double quotes. And the execute function simply returns a cursor object, as you can see. And if you want to show the output, if you want to show the current date and time, you can use the fetch1 statement or the fetch1 function. It will return a tuple containing the first record of the results. Let me show you that. Let's use the fetch1 function with the new cursor variable, refers to the cursor function. Type new cursor dot fetch1 to call the fetch1 function, and it will return this tuple, as you can see, for the current date and time. And you can unpack this tuple to get the string containing the date and time information easily without any problems. Let me show you that. You can do that by using the execute function with the fetch1 function at the same time with the new cursor variable, refers to the cursor function. Create a new variable and you can call it any valid name you wish, new date time or new date time, as you can see. And you can see in this example we use the execute function with the fetch1 function to get the first row with our new cursor to perform the SQL operations and to fetch the output for the current date and time as a string. Use the statement to get the output, to get the current date and time as a string, not in a tuple. Now we want to display the output. We want to display the current date and time as a string. So to do that, use the variable name. That variable name, new date time, or you can call it any variable name, any valid variable name, and use it after that. Refers to this operation, new cursor dot execute for new SQL. New SQL refers to the select statement to select date and time by using the date time function followed by the fetch1 statement to fetch the first row or the first record from our database called data testing. Use the print function to print out the result also. Type the print function and new date time as a parameter. As you can see, the output in this case is our current date and time. Use the print function to print out the output by using this variable, refers to our operation, by using the execute function with the fetch1 function at once for the new SQL for our query. It's a good practice to close the database connection. This database connection by using the close method. You can do that by using the variable name for our connection called new connection followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the close function. Let me show you that. Let's close the connection of our database called data testing. Once you call the close function like that, now the connection for our database is closed. This connection is closed by using the variable name, refers to the connection, new connection followed by the dot notation followed by the close function. The close function is used to close the database connection easily. Also in Python programming language, you can manage your database connection easily with the with keyword. By using the with statement or the with keyword in Python, you can manage all the database connection inside the same block of code. Let me show you that in action. In this example, you can see at the beginning the with statement followed by the connect function from the SQLite 3 package to connect or to create a connection for this database in the same working directory as new connection. To use this new name or this new variable new connection refers to the SQLite 3.connect to our database. And the body of the with statement is indented, as you can see, by using forward spaces automatically. And you can see this is the same previous example, exactly the same. The new cursor variable, and we assign the cursor function to this variable. By using new connection, the variable name refers to the database connection followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the cursor function to execute the SQL statements to fetch all the results. You must use the cursor function. Assign this to a variable called new cursor. After that, you can see the select statement in SQL. This is the SQL syntax. Select followed by datetime, the datetime method or function to get the current date and time. Now it has two parameters or two arguments, now and local time, to get the date now and also the local time now, and semicolon at the end of this SQL statement. Assign this to a variable and you can call it any valid name you wish. All that inside the indented body of the with statement. After that, you can see the execute function with the fetch one function to fetch the first record from this database to get the first row. Assign this to a variable, and don't forget to use the cursor variable with these two functions. The new cursor variable refers to the cursor function followed by the dot notation followed by the execute function, and this execute function takes new SQL. The select statement refers to the select statement as a parameter followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the fetch one function to get the first row from this database. Assign this to a variable. Now you need to use the print function after the with block to get this current date and time. Use the print function and place new datetime variable as a parameter or as an argument inside the round braces of the calling of the print function to get the current date and time as a string, not in a tuple. Try to type the print function and it will take new datetime as a parameter. As you can see, the output, once you hit shift enter or shift return, the output is the current date followed by the current time. By using the previous program with the with statement, you can manage all the database connection in the same block of code. It's more organized and readable for everyone. As you can see, the same program in the same block of code. Now it's time to talk about how to create tables in the SQLite database. You can use the create table statement to do that. Let me show you that in action. First of all, you can see the import statement to import the SQLite 3 library or package to work with the SQLite 3 database easily to execute the SQL statements in Python programming language. After that, you can see to create a connection to our database called data testing, we use the connect function. The SQLite 3 library name followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of that function or that method connect to start this connection to our database called data testing in the same working directory, followed by the extension of that database file .db inside double quotes inside the round braces of the connect function. Assign this to a variable and try to make the variable name more descriptive and meaningful to make your code more readable for everyone. This variable name is called new connection in this case. After that, use the cursor function to execute the SQL statements and operations, and also to fetch the result after that. It's so important. This function is so important for this connection. So use the cursor function, call it by using the cursor statement followed by empty braces, empty round braces. After the new connection variable refers to the database connection, the data testing database connection. Assign this operation also to a variable called new cursor. To use this new cursor variable refers to the cursor function for this connection, for the data testing database connection. Now, to execute the create table statement to create a new table called the clients, use the execute function. With the new cursor refers to the cursor function followed by the dot notation followed by the execute function. You can create this new table called the clients by using this SQL statement, create table followed by the name of this new table. You can create any table by using the same statement. Inside double quotes, inside the round braces of the execute function, you can see the create table statement followed by the name of the new table, and inside the round braces after the name of that table, you can see we have two columns, name and number. You can insert many columns as you wish. You can insert, for example, another column called age, and its data type is int also. The column name followed by its data type. Name and its data type is text. Number and its data type is integer, so we type int here. Separate between them using comma inside the round braces after the table name directly, and semicolon after that. After all of that, inside the double quotes to mark the end of this statement. This is a SQL syntax. After that, we want to insert data into the clients table. We want to insert these two values for name and number. Danny for name and 2030 for number as a value. This is an integer number, as you can see, a number without any decimal point. The insert into statement is used to insert values into this table or any table. The insert into statement followed by the name of the table and all that inside the round braces of the execute function to execute this statement, this SQL statement. And you can see the values keyword. The values keyword here, and inside the round braces you can see the value for the first record for the name column and 2030 for also the first record in the number column. You can insert multiple columns and also insert multiple values for these columns by using the same way. After that, you need to use the commit function or the commit statement to make these changes to our database called data testing, to our table called the clients from the database called data testing. Otherwise, nothing will change in this database, in this table called the clients in the data testing database. So call the commit function after the new connection variable refers to the database connection to make changes, to make these changes to our database. And the last step is closing the database after this operation. After all the previous operations, we want to close this database by using the close function. Use the close function exactly as in files handling in Python programming language. The new connection variable refers to the data testing database connection followed by the dot notation followed by the close function to close the database connection after all of that. After typing this program, if you want to fetch the information or the data from this table called the clients, please follow the next steps. Here we are typing our program to fetch the results from the clients table from the data testing. You can see to connect to start this connection to our database called data testing, use the connect function or use the connect statement. The SQLite 3 library name followed by the dot notation followed by the connect function for this data testing in the same working directory. And don't forget to place the extension .db at the end of the file name or the database name. Assign this to a variable called new connection, then use the cursor function to execute the SQL statements or to fetch the results. This is so important. New connection.cursor, assign this to a variable called new cursor, or you can call it any valid name you wish instead of new cursor. After that, we need to select all the data from the clients table from this database. So use the cursor name or use the variable name refers to this cursor, new cursor, followed by the dot notation followed by the execute function to execute the select statement to select all the information from clients table. This statement, as you can see, the select statement followed by the asterisk symbol. The asterisk symbol is used to select all the data from this table called the clients. So use the from keyword after the asterisk symbol followed by the name of the table and semicolon to mark the end of this statement. Now if you hit shift enter, you will get this output, this cursor object at this reference. So after using all these steps, if you want to select the first row, you can use the fetch one function. If you want to select all the data, you can use the fetch all function. Let's use the fetch one function to select the first record or the first row from the clients table. You need to use the cursor variable refers to the calling of the fetch one function, and you will get this output. As you can see, the values we inserted to this database to this table called the clients from the data testing database. We got Danny as a value in the first record for the name column, and also 2030, this integer number inside the number column in the first record, the first row in this table called the clients from the data testing database easily. Don't forget to use the cursor variable refers to the cursor function to execute the SQL statements and operations. This is very important. And call the fetch one function. As you can see, hit shift enter or shift return and you will get this output. If you have a table in a database like this clients table in the data testing database and want to remove it, to do that you can use the drop table statement. This is a SQL statement exactly as we did previously in the MySQL section. Let's use the drop table statement to remove the clients table. With the cursor variable, use the execute function to execute the drop table statement to drop this table called the clients. As you can see, and semicolon at the end. Hit shift enter. After hitting shift enter or running this cell, the clients table is removed from the table called data testing. The clients table is completely removed. If you want to use the drop table statement with a table that is already removed from this database, for any reason, you can use the if exists statement with the drop table statement, exactly as we did in the MySQL section. And to make these changes to our database with no errors at all, to make or to apply these changes to our database called data testing, you need to use the commit function after that, and after using the commit function, use the close function to close this connection to our database completely. Use the commit function, then use the close function to close this connection. The commit function to apply the changes to our database called data testing. Otherwise, nothing will be changed in this database. The new connection variable refers to the data testing database connection, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the commit function, then the new connection also for our database, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the close function to close the database connection. Finally, let's put all together. Let's create a full program to apply all the previous concepts in the SQLite database in the same program, in the same block of code. We're gonna do that with the with statement in Python programming language. Let me show you that in action. You can see this is a complete example to insert and fetch all the data from a database, from a table, from a database we have created. First of all, you can see the import statement to import our library or our SQLite 3 package in Python programming language to work with the SQLite 3 or to work with the SQLite databases. After that, you can see a tuple of tuples to insert 3 records in the table called clients in our database. The first record, Ronaldo and 7. Ronaldo is the value for the name column, 7 is the value for the number column, and the second one for Messi, and the third record for Salah. All that inside a tuple, and we assign this to a variable called new values. And after that, you can see the with statement block. The with keyword followed by the SQLite 3 name followed by the connect function from this library to start the database connection, and in between the round braces of the connect function you can see the database name, our data testing database, you can see, and the as keyword after that to start this database connection as new connection. This is like a variable name to use it instead of using SQLite 3.connect for data testing.db. And inside the indented body of the with statement you can see the new cursor variable equals new connection.cursor. The cursor function is used to perform the SQL statements and operations and also to fetch the results without errors. We assign this to a variable called new cursor to use the variable name, that variable name in our program many times instead of using new connection.cursor many times. So after that you can see new cursor.execute the cursor function with the execute function to execute this statement drop table if exists, to drop this table if this table is already exist. So we want to create it from the ground up after that. So we use the execute function again with the cursor function with the variable name refers to the cursor function new cursor.execute to create a new table called clients with the create table statement. The create table statement followed by the name of the table, and it has 2 columns as you can see, name and number. The data type for each record in the name column is text, and the data type for the number column is integer number or int, and semicolon to mark the end of this SQL statement. All that inside the round braces of the execute function to execute this statement in the SQL database or the SQLite database. Now to execute these many statements at once, use the execute many function with this cursor also to perform this SQLite syntax or this SQL syntax without any errors. The cursor name, the variable name refers to the cursor function followed by the execute many statement, and inside the round braces of the execute menu you can see the insert into statement to insert many values inside the clients table, to insert many records. You can see the values, and inside the values statement 2 question marks, the first one for the name column for each record, and the second question mark for the number column for each record. And the second argument inside the execute many statement or the execute many function is the new values. You can take a look at the new values variable. You will see a tuple of tuples with these 3 tuples, Ronaldo 7, Messi 30, Salah 11, all that inside the round braces of the tuple. And as you can see, this is the second parameter or the second argument inside the round braces of the execute mini function to insert these values inside the table called the clients. After that, you need to use the select statement to select all the previous data, to select all the previous records from the database, from the table called the clients, from the database called data testing. So inside the execute function, to execute this SQLite statement or this SQLite syntax, we use select statement followed by the name of the columns, name and number. We separate between them using comma, or you can use the asterisk symbol to select all the information of if you wish, followed by the from keyword, followed by the name of the table, and the where statement to set this condition to display all the records that match this condition. Number greater than is greater than 7, so you will get Messi 30, Salah 11, but you will not get Ronaldo 7 because this number is not greater than 7. This is equal to 7, not greater than 7. After that, the for loop to iterate over this sequence or to iterate over the records one by one. The for loop followed by the variable name x, or you can call it any valid name, any descriptive name. You can call it row, record, or anything, any meaningful name, followed by the in keyword, followed by the new cursor to fetch all the information from our data, from the client's table from the database called data testing, and the print function inside the body of the for loop to print this variable name or to print the records one by one, the matching records one by one, the record number 2 and the record number 3 that match the where statement condition. And once you hit shift enter or shift return, you will get this output. You will get Messi 30 and Salah 11. All these results match this condition for the where statement, where number is greater than or is bigger than 7. You can see that inside the round braces of the execute function. That's it, easily, so simple and so easy. You can use the SQLite 3 library or package in Python programming language to work with the SQL language without any problem, without any need to install anything. And also there are many libraries and modules in Python programming language to work and manage databases. For example, CX Oracle, and its database engine is Oracle, PSY COPG2, and its database engine or its database management system is PostgreSQL. And you can see for the MongoDB, PyMongo, you can use the PyMongo module or package to work with the MongoDB database system, the MySQL connector, and you know this module, we used it previously, the MySQL.connector, or you can use the PyMySQL to work with the MySQL databases. And there is a module in Python programming language or a library called Cassandra Driver to work with the Cassandra databases easily. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next lesson. Hello and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson we will discuss the MongoDB database. MongoDB is one of the most popular NoSQL or not only SQL database. And in this course I'll show you how to manage the MongoDB database by using Python programming language. You can use the MongoDB database to store data in JSON or JavaScript object notation like documents. It's so popular, flexible, and scalable. You can store large datasets by using the MongoDB database. In the MongoDB, we use collections instead of tables and documents instead of records or rows. And to work with MongoDB, you need to download and install the MongoDB database on your device. You can download the community version from this link here, www.mongodb.com/try/download/community. You can simply download a free MongoDB database version from this link. And after downloading the install launcher for the MongoDB database on your device, you need to install it. The MongoDB installation is so easy, and I'll show you that in detail. After installing the MongoDB on your device, you need to install the PyMongo driver to work with the MongoDB database with Python programming language. You can install it by using the pip package manager in Python by using this command python-m pip install pymongo to work with the MongoDB database in Python programming language without any errors. And after that, to use the MongoDB database, you need to import this library or this package in Python at the beginning of the program. Use the import statement to do that. At the beginning of each program, to work with the MongoDB database in Python programming language, use that statement import pymongo. Now, let me show you how to download and install the MongoDB database on our device. You can go to the official page for downloading the community version for the MongoDB database by using this link or this URL. Type this URL and hit enter or return, and this will bring you to this website, this official page for downloading the community version, the MongoDB community server. You can download the software or the install launcher by using this green button. Open the installation file or the install launcher for the MongoDB database and try to install it exactly as you can see here. And make sure to install or check this option, install MongoDB Compass. We are gonna use the MongoDB Compass many times in this section to handle the databases, the MongoDB databases easily. And after that, you can hit next. And please wait while the setup installs MongoDB completely on your device. After that, you can hit finish. After completing the installation process, you can hit finish. And now the MongoDB database software is installed successfully. So you can use the pymongo package in Python programming language after installing it also by using the pip package manager. After completing the installation operation, open the MongoDB Compass, and this is our software here to handle the MongoDB databases. In next lessons, we will use this connect button to connect to our databases, collections, and documents, and I will show you all of that. Inside the Jupyter Notebook, type python-m pip install pymongo to install the MongoDB driver on our device. This will download and install the MongoDB driver to work with the MongoDB databases in Python programming language. Just use this command and hit shift enter or shift return, and after that you can use the MongoDB with Python programming language with no problems or errors. After successfully installing the pymongo driver or library in Python programming language to work with the MongoDB databases, let's test if the installation was successful or not by using the import statement to import this library. We are gonna use the import statement followed by the name of that library or this driver name, and we are gonna hit shift enter to execute the statement. And if the following statement is executed with no errors at all, The PyMongo driver or library in Python programming language is installed and ready to be used, so you can use the MongoDB databases with Python programming language with no problems. Type import followed by the name of the library PyMongo and hit shift enter, and you can see no errors. The PyMongo library is installed successfully, so we can use the MongoDB syntax in Python programming language with no errors at all. Now let's create our first database in MongoDB by using the PyMongo library in Python programming language, and to do that, start by creating a Mongo client object. Let me show you that in action, and we are gonna explore each concept. Let's create a variable called new client and assign the Mongo client object from the PyMongo library as a value to this variable, and put the URL, the correct link in between the round braces of the Mongo client method or object, as you can see. After that, create your first database. In this case, we have created our first database called data test. Use the variable name refers to the MongoDB connection, this connection called new client, and in between the square brackets you can see the name of our new database called data test. You can name it any name you wish and assign that to a variable called newDB to use this variable after that, instead of using this operation new client for this data test database. By using this program, MongoDB will create this database called data test if it doesn't exist and make a connection to it, and also make sure to specify the connection URL in between the round braces of the Mongo client object for the local host. You can see our link here in this example. And there is an important point here. In MongoDB, a database is not created until it gets content. To show this database called data test in the MongoDB compass, you need to create collections and documents inside these collections, and I'll show you that. Let's create our first collection in this database called data test. A collection is used in the MongoDB database instead of using a table in the SQL databases. A collection in MongoDB is the same as a table in SQL. That's all about it. Let's create our first collection here. You need to use the database object to create a new collection here in the data test database. So you can see the variable name or the object name for the data test database called newDB followed by square brackets, and inside these square brackets you can see the name of our first collection instead of table. And MongoDB will create this collection called students if it doesn't exist in this database called data test. So assign this operation to a variable called new collection or new col or any valid name in Python programming language. Feel free to call it any valid name, but try to make the name more descriptive and meaningful and readable for everyone. After all of that, after executing this program and hitting shift enter or shift return and go to the MongoDB compass, you will not see anything. You will not see anything in the output. You will not see this database called data test or this collection called students. Try to hit connect and you can see nothing. You must create documents, at least one document inside this collection called students to show the output here, to show the database inside this MongoDB compass. So let's go to the Jupyter notebook again to create our first document inside the students collection to show the database here in the MongoDB compass. You can see our first document in the students collection in the data test database here. You can see for our first document here, key value pairs instead of using columns. Instead of using columns in the SQL databases. You can see our first key is name and its value is Donny, and we separate between these two keys using comma, these two items. And the second key is called code and its value is code 11 inside double quotes. All of that inside double quotes, as you can see, and all these items surrounded by curly braces. Assign this to a variable and you can call it new dict, new document, or any valid name you wish. Try to make this variable name more descriptive and meaningful. This is our first document in the collection called students in the data test database. Document instead of record or row as in SQL. MongoDB uses documents instead of records. And to insert this first document in MongoDB, in our MongoDB database called data test, inside the students collection, we need to use the insert one method. And this method is used to insert a document into the students collection here. And the first parameter of the insert one method is a dictionary containing the names and the values of each field, or the keys and the values of each field in the document you want to insert. Let me show you that. Type adding equals new call dot insert one. The insert one function is used to insert our first document into the students collection. Our first document here is called new dict. This is the variable name refers to the first document, and all that the variable name new dict inside the round braces of the insert one function. The new call variable refers to the dot notation, refers to the calling of the insert one method, and in between the round braces of that method you can see the document name, or the variable name refers to the document here we have created. For name is Donny and code is code 11. And before using the insert one method, make sure to place the variable name refers to the collection connection in the database, and assign this to a variable called adding, or you can call it any valid name you wish instead of using adding. After that, let's use the print function with this adding variable, and the output for this operation will be PyMongo object at reference. Type the print function adding and hit shift enter, and you can see the PyMongo object at this reference number. Now let's go to the MongoDB compass to show the changes. Hit refresh and you can see our database here is created, students collection, and inside the students collection you can see our first document here, name Donny, and code is code 11. That's it, easily. You can add many documents inside the same collection. Inside the students collection you can create another database, and inside that database you can create many collections with many documents, and you can handle the output from here, from the MongoDB compass. It's so powerful to manage the MongoDB databases. In the current example, the insert one method is used to return an insert one result object, which has a property called inserted ID. So you can use the inserted ID property directly inside the round braces of the print function to show or to display the ID of the inserted document inside the students collection. Let me show you that. Also, by using the variable name adding refers to the insert one method, you can use this property inserted ID inside the round braces of the print function and hit shift enter, and you will get this output. You will get this inserted ID for the first document we have inserted, and you can display the inserted ID for any document you inserted by using the variable name refers to the inserted one method followed by the dot notation followed by the inserted ID method or the inserted ID statement inside the round braces of the print function to print out or display the output on the screen once you hit shift enter or shift return. And also it's possible to specify or assign a unique ID for each document in any collection you have created, and I'll show you that. However, now let's talk about how to insert many documents or multiple documents into a collection in MongoDB. You can insert many documents into a collection into a database by using the insert many method in MongoDB. And this insert many method will take a list containing dictionaries as a parameter. Let me show you that in action. Import by Mongo, then the Mongo client. After that, create a database called new data, then create a collection inside this database called students, and then you can insert list of documents. As you can see inside the students collection, we have 6 documents, as you can see, list of dictionaries, and each document has its name and values. And after that, use the insert many method to insert the previous documents inside the students collection in the new data database. And also you can use the inserted IDs property or statement to display the inserted ID for each document inside the students collection from our database called new data. And you can see that in the output once you hit shift enter or shift return. Now let's understand this program in detail. First of all, to use the MongoDB database in Python programming language, you need to import the PyMongo library in Python by using the import statement at the beginning to work with MongoDB without any errors, and you must install it at the beginning before importing it by using the import statement. You can install it first by using the pip package, and after that use the import statement to import this library. Then create a client object or create a connection to our database by using the pymongo.mongo client with this URL to our local host. And after that you can create a new database by using the variable name refers to the connection to our MongoDB server, and the variable name is called new client followed by square brackets, and insert a new database name here in between single quotes or double quotes if you wish inside the square brackets after the variable name, and assign this to a variable to another variable called newDB, or you can call it any name you wish. And after creating a connection to the MongoDB server and creating a database, you can create a collection. You can create collections inside the new data database or any database you have created. Use the variable name refers to the database called newDB followed by square brackets, and place the name of the collection, which is students in this case, in between single quotes inside the square brackets after the variable name newDB, and assign this to a variable called new collection or new col. Then you can create list of students. You can create many documents inside this collection, a document instead of a record in SQL. And we have 6 documents. We want to insert these documents inside the students collection. So after that, you can see we use the insert many statement or function or method to insert this list of students. You can see the parameter of the calling of the insert many method is the list of students these documents. We want to insert these documents inside the students collection. So you can see the variable name refers to the collection, new call followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the insert many method, and place the list of students as a parameter or as an argument for the calling of the insert many method, and assign this to a variable. And you can use the variable name adding many with the inserted IDs property to display the object IDs, or to display the ID number for each document inside the students collection inside the new data database easily, and the print function to print out the output as you can see. And if you want to see the result, if you want to see our database with the students collection and these documents, you can go to the MongoDB compass. So let's go ahead to show the inserted documents through the MongoDB compass. Open the MongoDB compass, refresh, and you can see our new database called new data. Open it, the students collection, and you can see our documents here, each document with the ID number, the name, and also the code. And you know what, you can change the ID number for any document. You can change the automatic ID numbers to any numbers you wish. Let me show you that. Let's change the ID numbers for these documents to unique numbers. Let's go to the Jupyter Notebook again, and you can see we have another example here. In this example, we specify the ID number for each document. The ID for the first document is 1, and the second document is 2, and the third document is 3, and so on, and the last one equals 6. As you can see, you can specify the ID numbers by using this way to insert unique numbers instead of the automatic numbers, the automatic ID numbers. And once you hit shift enter, you can see to print out the inserted IDs, you can see a list of our ID numbers here, our unique ID numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, all that inside square brackets inside a list, as you can see. And also you can go to the MongoDB compass again to show these new ID numbers. Let's go to the MongoDB compass to show the changes. Hit refresh and go to our new collection called new students, and you can see our documents here with the ID numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's summarize our example. First of all, import the PyMongo library in Python, then create the client object by using the Mongo client object in the MongoDB to create a connection to our MongoDB server, then create a database by using the variable name refers to this connection. This database is called new data, as you can see, our new database. Then we have created a new collection called new students by using the variable name refers to the database followed by square brackets and the collection name inside these square brackets, and assign that to a new variable called new collection or new call. You can call it any valid name you wish, but try to make the name more descriptive. Then you can see list of documents, list of new documents, and inside these documents we specify the ID numbers instead of the automatic numbers. In this example we are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of the automatic numbers that were generated automatically, and the insert many statement or the insert many method after that to insert these documents with the new ID numbers inside the new students collection in the new data database. And after that you can see we use the property inserted IDs to display the new IDs, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 inside a list, and the print function to print out these IDs on the screen by using the variable name with the inserted IDs property as a parameter or as an argument inside the round braces of the calling of the print function. The adding many variable refers to the dot notation. This refers to the inserted IDs property, and hit shift enter and you will get this output without any problems. And if you want to show the output, if you want to show the documents or the data here by using Python programming language inside this Jupyter notebook instead of using the MongoDB compass, you can do that. Let me show you that. Instead of using the select statement in SQL, you can use the find and find one methods in MongoDB to find data in a collection. You can use the find one method to display the first document in this collection called new students. As you can see here, the first document is printed by using the print function. In this example, we have created a variable called finding, and we assign the variable name new col refers to the collection, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the find one function to this variable called finding. The find one function or the find one method is used to display the first document only from this collection we have created, and the print function after that to print out the output of this variable called finding. The find one method is used to return the first occurrence in the selection, like this document here, the first document or the first occurrence in our collection called new students. And also, if you want to select all the information or all the data from the collection called new students or any collection you have created, you can use the find method to do that in MongoDB. The find method is used to return all occurrences in the selection or all the documents from a collection. You can say that the find method in the MongoDB is the same as the select statement followed by asterisk in SQL. Create a for loop to iterate over all the documents. The for keyword followed by variable name, docu for example, followed by the in keyword, and the find function after the variable name refers to this collection. You can see the calling of the find method and the print function to print the variable name that refers to each document one by one. Docu will represent the first document, then the second document, then the third document, until reaching the last one. In the new call refers to our collection, refers to the new students collection. You can do that. You can create another variable instead of docu. You can call it x, I, n, or any valid name, but try to make it more descriptive, and followed by the in keyword, followed by the variable name new call or new collection refers to our collection, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the find method to select all the data or all the documents from inside our new students collection, and the print function to display the output one by one. And once you hit shift enter or shift return, you will get this output on the screen, all the 6 documents here in the output. You can use the find method to limit the search or to select specified documents from a collection. Let's see that by taking a simple example. You can see our example here. We have added the statement here, new query equals code 01, to display all the documents that match this item. All the documents that has code equals this code 01. So we want to select or limit the search based on this query here. You can do that by changing this to another value instead of code 01 from our database, from our collection called new students from the new data database. Then you can see the find function, or the find method, and the new query variable refers to the selection inside the round braces of the find built-in method or function, and the new call refers to the collection before the dot notation before the calling of that function or that method called find, to find the selection, to find all the results that match this query. After that, you can see the for loop to iterate over this iterator called newDoc, refers to this finding or refers to the selection we want. The for loop followed by a variable name called x, then the in keyword, then the iterator name. The variable name refers to the find from this collection, the find function to select the specified data or specified information from our collection called new students that match this condition or this filter code 01. The value is code 01 and the name is code. And inside the indented body of the for loop, you can see the print function to print x, to display the specified documents one by one. And you know we have a single document only that matches this condition. So in this case, if you try to run this program by hitting shift enter or shift return, you will get only a single document that matches this condition or this filter or this query we set here. Let's do that. Let's run this program. Once you hit shift enter, you will get this output. As you can see, we have a single document from the new students collection that matches this condition. You can change this to 2 and hit run again, and you can see the output is changed based on the new filter or the new condition code 02 instead of using code 01. You can change this filter. Feel free to try this by yourself, and if you need any help, please ask me and I'll answer you as soon as possible. There is an advanced technique to filter the result based on a condition or based on a query. Let me show you that. If you want to make advanced queries, you can use modifiers as values. In the new query object here, you can see here the greater than modifier. We want to find all the documents from the new students collection where the code field starts with this statement here or this word called code alphabetically. You can do that by using the greater than modifier, as you can see. And you know, all the documents from inside the new students collection match this query or this condition here. All the code values start with this word code. Code 00, code 01, code 02, and you can see all the code values in all the documents start with this word. And you can use the greater than modifier with a letter, with a word. Try to change this word to another word or another letter and see the changes in the output. In MongoDB, if you have a collection of documents and want to sort the result in ascending or descending order, you can do that by using the sort method. Let's see this in action. We have a simple example here to sort all the result for our documents for the collection called new students alphabetically by name. So you can see inside the round braces of the sort method, we have the name or the name key refers to the name key from each document. We want to sort the data, or we want to sort all the information or all the documents from inside the new students collection by name alphabetically. So in this case, you can see the variable name new call refers to the new students collection in the new data database, followed by the dot notation, followed by the find method to select all the data or to find all the data or all the information from the new students collection, followed by the sort method to sort all the data or all the result alphabetically by name, and we assign this to a variable to iterate over this variable or this iterator by using the for loop. After that, you can see for in new query and the print function inside the body of the for loop to print the documents, the sorted documents one by one. Now hit shift enter or shift return to see the output. Actually, all the documents are already sorted, so you can try this with other names. But now, let me show you how to sort these results in a descending order instead of an ascending order. You can do that by placing another argument for the sort function or the sort method, and this parameter or this argument will be -1 to sort all the results in descending order instead of ascending order. Type -1 as a second argument here and hit shift enter again. Now you can see the results are sorted in descending order by name. Now let's talk about deleting documents from a collection. You can delete only a single document by using the delete one method. Let's see this in action. To delete only one document, create a query with a condition, for example code, and we want to delete the first document that match this condition or that match this query. And you can see the delete one method to delete the first element or the first document from our new students collection that matches this condition or this query. So you can see the parameter or the argument for the delete one method is the new query variable or object, and the new call variable refers to the collection new students followed by the dot notation followed by the calling of the delete one with the new query. And after that, we want to display all the existing documents one by one. We want to iterate over all the existing documents one by one after this deleting process. So by using this for loop, you can do that. The for loop for x in new call.find to find or select all the data from our collection called new students that we assign it to a variable called new call, and the print function to print x. X refers to the first document, then the second document will represent each item one by one in this loop, and the print function will display the output. Hit shift enter and you will get the existing documents in the new students collection, and you will see the item that matches this query code 01 is deleted. Run the cell and you can see the output here, the existing documents in the new students collection. You can take a look at here. You will see code 01 is deleted from here by using the delete one statement, and this item or this document is deleted because it matches this condition or this query code 01. And there is an important point here, which is if the new query or this condition finds more than one document that match this condition, only the first occurrence is deleted or the first document that match this condition from all the documents. Another important method to delete documents is the delete many method. You can use the delete many method to delete more than one document, and also the argument, the first parameter or the first argument for that method will be a query object defining which documents to delete. Let me show you that. Let's start our query. We want to select all documents where the name starts with this word code 03 here. with this word. You can change it to any letter, and 0 documents, the result will be 0 documents because there is no name starts with this word. However, we will change it later. And in this example, you can see we use the delete many method to delete more than one document or more than one element from inside our collection called new students. And we use the new call variable refers to this collection, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the delete many with the new queue, as you can see, as an argument refers to our new query or our condition name, and this regular expression pattern to display each name that starts with code 03. And also in this example, we use the deleted count property with the delete many method to display the number of documents or the count of documents that are deleted from our collection. So you can see the variable name x refers to the using of the delete many method, followed by that property and the print function to display the output, to display the deleting count, followed by this string or this message documents deleted from the collection. If you hit shift enter or shift return, you will get 0 documents deleted from the collection because 0 documents that match this condition or this query. Let's go ahead to run this program and you will get this output: 0 documents deleted from the collection. Let's change name to code to delete all the documents that match the new condition or the new query. Try to change name to code and hit shift enter or run this program again, and you can see now 1 document deleted from the collection. Also, you can change this code to another code. You can change code 03 to another code. The item or the document that match this condition or this query is deleted from the collection called new students from our database. If multiple documents inside this collection match this condition or this filter, they will be deleted completely, because in this case we are using the delete many method instead of delete one. And also, if you want to delete all documents in new students collection, just pass an empty query object to the delete many method. Let me show you that. Use the delete many method with an empty query and assign this to a variable called remove all, and then use the deleted count property to display the deleted count or to display the number of records that are deleted from our collection from our database. And once you hit shift enter or shift return, you will get this output for documents deleted from the collection: the deleted count followed by the string documents deleted from the collection we set after the deleted count property. All the documents are deleted from our collection called new students. In MongoDB, if you want to delete collection completely, you can do that by using the drop method. Let me show you that. Type the variable name refers to the collection followed by the calling of the drop method and hit shift enter, and now the new students collection is deleted from our database completely. Now let's move to talk about updating collections in MongoDB. You can update a single document in a collection in MongoDB by using the update one method, and also you can update all documents that meets the criteria of the query or the condition that we will set by using the update many method in MongoDB. Let me show you that in action. Let's insert the previous data or the previous information to the new students collection again to update it, to use the update one and the update many methods with this collection called new students. You can see we have an example here. We created a query called new queue and code OO, and then new values. We want to update this new query to this new values, and you can see inside the curly braces of new vals or new values we have the set pattern to update or to set this new values code, and we want to replace code OO with code 0. Code 0 is the new value, and you can see the update one method after that takes two parameters or two arguments. The first parameter or the first argument is the oldest value we want to change, and the next one, the second parameter or the second argument, is the new value or new vals refers to the new value code 0. And after that, the for loop to iterate over the collection documents to display all the documents one by one after this update for the first occurrence. If two documents match this condition or this query, the first one only will be changed, will be updated, the first occurrence only. Now let's run the program to see the changes. Hit shift enter or shift return. You can see here the first one is changed, the first document is changed. This is the first occurrence that matches our condition or our query. Code OO is changed to code 0, as you can see here in the output, and you can change it to something else. Try to change it to another value by yourself, and if you need any help, please ask me and I'll answer you as soon as possible. Do you want to display or select specific result? To display or limit the result in MongoDB, you can use the limit method. The limit method will take only one parameter, and this parameter is a number defining how many documents to return, how many documents you wish to display. After selecting the output or after finding the result from the collection by using the find method, you can see we use the limit method to display only 3 documents from our collection called new students. You can see new call refers to the collection, followed by the dot notation, followed by the calling of the find method, followed by the limit method, the calling of the limit method, and inside the round braces of the limit method, the number defining how many documents to return. And also we assign this operation to a variable. Then to display the output or the result one by one, you need to create a for loop for x in result filter to iterate over this iterator called result filter to display the selected documents one by one, and the print x inside the indented body of the for loop to display or to print the output on the screen. After that, you need to hit shift enter or shift return to show the output, to show the 3 first documents from the new students collection from our database. Hit shift enter or shift return to show this output, and you can change 3 to 4 to 5, any filter, any number, any limit you wish to limit the result in MongoDB. You can see after running this program, we got the first 3 documents from our collection, from the new students collection from the database we have created. That's it, easily. You can change 3 to 4 to get the first 4 documents from the same database by using this way also. the for loop to iterate over documents to display the selected documents one by one. X will represent the first document, then the second document, then the third document. That's all about it. Thank you so much for watching.